ladies and gentlemen, welcome to School Science. My name is Luke, and today we're going to be talking about some tactics and formations with the current Everton squad that we have at the moment, now that the window is firmly shut and the only incomings or outgoings will be based on free contracts. And as you know, when a player goes onto a free, it's technically not with any club. So the squad we got at the moment looks something like this. So as you can see, we've actually got a fairly good squad there, in all fairness. It's pretty much, you're looking at Pickford in goal with Mark Travers in reserve, Mykolenko left back with Asnu as a backup, Branthwaite centre left with Keane as a backup, Tarkowski right centre with O'Brien, ironically enough, O'Brien on the right with Patterson on the wings, Idrissa Gana Gueye with Irabinum as a backup, Garner with Alcaraz as a backup, Grealish with McNeil as a backup, Dewsbury Hall with Merlin as a backup, and Dye with Diblin as a backup, and Beto with Barry as a backup. Now, what you got to take into account, I would say, now, I would be jumping the gun a fair bit, talking about Diblin, Merlin, and Asnu, but for the majority of the rest of the squad and their backups, you've got a bloody strong squad there. Now, when we went into the window, there was a lot of fear that, well, near the end of the window, I'd probably say before we got Dibble and Merlin, there was a fair bit of fear that we were going to have a lot of holes in the squad. But looking at what we've got right now, we've got all of our bases covered and then some. Now, bear in mind, how can I put this? There is players still in the reserves as well as that will be on the bench, the likes of Coleman and all them, Coleman and co. That would probably still fall in likes of right back or even at a push, potentially centre-back. If, say, for example, we really do get hit with an injury crisis. Let's say, for argument's sake, Mykolenko gets injured, Branthwaite gets injured, and Tarkowski gets injured. You've then got to find ways to hole up that. So then you've got situations of, the likes of Seamus Coleman coming in alongside Nathan Patterson or instead of Nathan Patterson. And you've got the likes of the African Cup of Nations, which thankfully is only going to take two players out of it. So that's going to be Idrissa Gana Gueye and Iliman and Dye. So in their stead, you're going to have Tim Irabinum, who does have some issues with injuries, but I think he has actually gotten over them for the most part, as well as Dibbling coming in. Now, the likes of Dibbling, Merlin and Asnu, they will have to get bled into the squad over the course of time. This is likewise even with Barry as well. The more minutes you get, the better they will become. Especially with the way we play at the moment, it does help us significantly. Now, looking at the squads here, let's say for argument's sake, in a match scenario, let's say Idrissa Gueye isn't firing on all cylinders. You can take him off. Now, you could do a like for like with Tim Irabinum coming on, or you could even turn around and say, right, we're going to take him off, but what we're going to do is we're going to actually bolster the attack a little bit. So rather than him coming off and Irabinum coming on, you could say him bringing Idrissa Gueye off and Tyler Dibbling coming on and Iliman and Dye and Dewsbury Hall basically becoming a double-barreled number 10 system. So you have two number 10s sitting up top there operating that sort of space. So you'd probably say even Iliman and Dye would have a preference of going left in the number 10 position to assist the likes of Jack Grealish. So there's no honest reason for people to be turning around and going, oh no, we're screwed. But no, not by any means. This is probably one of the strongest Everton teams since, I'd probably say, Roberto Martinez's first season with us. Back in the days when we had the likes of Ross Barkley, Romelu Lukaku, Jagielka, Distin, who else? James McCarthy. We had those sort of lads in the squad. I mean, James McCarthy, when he first came to us, he was everywhere. I always remember the game, it was quite literally, James McCarthy was everywhere on that pitch. You looked everywhere on the camera, he was there. He was always the receiving ball and the outlet. Basically, any ball that went anywhere, he was the middleman to it. And we're going to see that with the likes of Idrissa Gana Gueye and James Garner and Dewsbury Hall. The three of them are probably going to be the triangle of that. And what we've got to take into account as well is, I know a couple of channels have actually already talked about this, but the way the squad is lined up and the way that the tactics work, we have got a nice little heavy preference on pushing. So I've actually got a alternative, and this is more than likely going to be the setup that we're going to do when it comes to the Villa game, because as you guys all probably know by now, Vitaly Mikalenko has actually withdrawn from the Ukraine squad, and he has come back to the UK to continue with his treatments because he has got an injury. And the thing is, though, a lot of the fan accounts have been putting the blame on Everton, saying, oh, he's come back too early. He's been forced back too early. With all due respect, that is not the case. With Mikalenko, he has basically been given the option to come back. With the likes of the Mansfield game and the Wolves game, he has chosen to play those games. What has also probably transpired is he's probably had a whisper in his ear where someone has said to him, okay, so you need to play these games. You need to play at least 1 or 2 games. Show us that you are fit. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get into the Ukraine squad. That is most likely what has been whispered into his ear. So he has, of his own free will, taken himself into them games, probably carrying an injury. And as a result, he has had to withdraw from the squad because he's just not up to speed. Well, they said his MRI basically showed that his injury needs time to heal properly. So he has to come back and take treatments here. But yeah, so this would be the alternative squad. So that has actually shrunk a little bit. Sorry about that. So the actual squad itself, looking at this, I'll bring that in a little bit. That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Love it. So it's still going to be a 4-2-3-1, obviously. But you're going to see the likes of James Garner on the left, O'Brien on the right. That's not changed at all, really. But yeah, this would be the most likely squad we have in the short term. So Pickford in goal, as usual. You're going to have James Garner, left back, Michael Keane, Tarkowski, and O'Brien. Now, in the past, I'll probably say, the past Wolves game, in all fairness, Tarkowski's been a bit off the boil. There's been situations there where I think the communication between him and Michael Keane, I wouldn't say they're stinted or it's not a great communication. They're just not used to each other, with all due respect. They are just not used to each other. So what Tarkowski relies on Branthwaite to do and what Michael Keane does are two very different things. Don't get me wrong, Michael Keane has been a great centre-back for us for these past few games. He hasn't been the Michael Keane that we remember that when he came on that pitch, it was, oh God, what is he going to do to screw us over? It's now a Michael Keane who actually does the centre-back role to a decent extent. I wouldn't say he's a 10 out of 10 centre-back. He's not a prime Jagielka or anything like that, but he is a solid 6 out of 10 when it comes to him playing at the moment. But the thing is, him and Tarkowski, the communication between the two is fairly stinted, and as a result, we have leaked goals because of this. But I digress. So yeah, so as you can see though, because Mikalenko's gone out, James Garner's going to be as a left back. Burnham is taking over James Garner's role. And from there, there's not too much that changes. What we are going to have to note though is how Everton currently are pressing. And you will probably notice this in the Wolves game as well. When we are on the attack, so let's say Grealish is bringing the ball up. I don't know why he disappears on that one. But yeah, so when Grealish brings the ball up, Drewsbury Hall will come inside here to the left. And from there, you're going to have Beto basically lingering around that opposition's box. And Illiman and Dye will also come closer. So he will basically sit on the far post. So Beto more than likely is going to be near post, and Illiman and Dye will end up sitting far post. So in this situation, you've got a nice heavy press here on their box. And one thing that I was noticing, and a lot of people have mentioned as well, is you even have one of the centre-backs potentially coming up now. I don't know whether it was Tarkowski, I can't confirm it. But it was someone, and they were lingering around here ready. So basically, you've got half a squad here. And Burnham would obviously be lingering around here somewhere. And likewise with Jesse Gay, he'd probably be lingering backing up these guys here. Garner would probably be closer, more further upfield. O'Brien would be probably further upfield. So you've got a sort of situation like this where they are heavily attacking. And what ends up happening, because we're doing these short, low passes, we're not lofting the ball up via Pickfords. We're not using Pickfords anymore to just loft the ball up and hope that it gets to the striker. It's essentially building out, and it's going to be basically the main centre point at this point in time is between Grealish and Drewsbury Hall. So it pushes out. They've got it. And from there, you basically, the opposition's penalty area is just absolutely rammed with people. So let's say, for argument's sake, they do somehow get the ball. The opposition get the ball and try and push out. That is going to be extremely difficult because Grealish has got the left side covered. Likewise with Drewsbury Hall. They have basically got that area locked down. Beto and Ndai essentially got the centrewards. O'Brien and Tarkowski, but chances are, if it was Tarkowski, would end up pushing around the right. So you've got an entire cluster here that you've got to break through. It is so difficult for teams to break through that. And if they do manage to break through, you've then got to deal with Idrissa Gueye. Or if you do break through, O'Brien will rush back, Tarkowski will rush back, and Garner will rush back. So the back four is back again. Idrissa Gueye, as you know, he's an absolute bulldog in that midfield. He is the Lee Carsley of our squad at the moment. Pretty much, he will make sure that he is where he needs to be in order to get this ball. He's doing everything he can to make sure that we get that ball back. We regain our possession. And from there, we're basically pushing straight back up. And the good thing is, we've got these lads that they've got engines on them. They have got absolute engines. They're able to move about that pitch with so much ease. I mean, don't get me wrong, Grealish is not the quickest guy on the pitch, but his skill allows him to just have the freedom to do whatever he wants. He'll basically sit around the halfway line. Once that ball comes through, he will bring it up at a nice steady pace, and it is excruciatingly difficult to get that ball off him. He has got that ball very close to his feet, and if you go in for a challenge, all he does is he dinks it slightly past you before you make that challenge, and you take his legs from him. So a lot more skilled people may be able to read this. So you may have a situation where he will do this, but the person will anticipate that. So he'll make it look like he's going in for a challenge. He will pull back just at the very last second. Grealish will push the ball forward, and then they will go in for that ball. But chances are, 99% of the players in the Premier League who are going to be dealing with Jack Grealish are more than likely going to foul him. I can almost guarantee that, unless it's someone who absolutely knows him left inside and out. So Aston Villa are most likely the people that are going to potentially read what he does, but in them situations, you're going to have Drewsbury Hall coming in and providing them some backup. But yeah, guys, so as a lineup, can't argue with it. Nice and solid. We've got all the lads we need right now. We've got all of our lovely Evertonian duckies in a row here. I am so confident for this upcoming season because, as I said, we haven't just got those lads. We've also got people in the wings. So when we've got a fully fit squad, I mean, for crying out loud, if Mikalenko's not cutting the mustard, Asnu falls in. And I think over the course of time, what you'll end up seeing is Asnu will get minutes. He will honestly get minutes. So what'll happen is probably even as soon as the Aston Villa game, Mikalenko will start. Around the half-time mark, Asnu will come on for him. And what you're going to see there is with Asnu, he's a very attack-minded player, so he will probably back up Grealish. So you'll have him, Drewsbury Hall, and Grealish all clustering a top left area of the field, essentially. They will have that absolutely down pat, and that's where Idrissa Gueye will probably have to fall back and cover that area. I have doubts that this will be the case. Moyes might even say, look, we want you to attack, but try and do it in a more reserved sort of way. Just be providing for Grealish and be ready to overlap if needs be. But I honestly, the way our formation's been set out and how we are going to be attacking and everything like that, I think there's going to be very few teams that are going to be able to really break us down and dismantle what we've got. Unless morale is taking an absolute nosedive, something happens behind the scenes that really screws us. There's very few teams, I think, that could probably come to us or we go to them and they could just rub their hands and go, right, easiest 3 points we're going to be able to get. Let's do this. I mean, hell, I don't even see the likes of Buddy Isak being able to break down the likes of Branthwaite, Tarkowski and Garner operating as a defensive line. I do honestly struggle to see it, just to be as egotistical as I am. But yeah, guys, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching this video. I do greatly appreciate your continued support. As you know, these sorts of things are very new to me, and I am constantly improving them to try and give you guys the best possible experience with these videos. I am sorry for that camera wobble. My knee is basically pressed up against my desk. So yeah, also I'd like to say a big thank you to all my guys down here. Now, if you want to be like these guys and help support the channel through the Cup of Coffee tier, the link is down in the description below. It is less than £1 a month. There is also a join button right next to where the subscribe button normally is. So if you're already subscribed, chances are you'll see a button on there that will say join. If you do that, like I said, this goes a very long way to helping the channel. Believe it or not, that less than £1 a month helps me upgrade the hardware, the software, all stuff like that. It helps me get the paint sorted out to paint these walls. It'll help me sort out the acoustics so that we don't have as much reverb. But even if you can't support me in that sort of way, I fully understand that. I know times are tough and you've got to watch every single penny in this day and age. You don't know what's going to happen around the corner. So simply liking the video, commenting on it, sharing it, helping the reach of the channel expand helps us massively. It is a dream of mine to try and do this sort of stuff as much as I can. So you guys helping grow this channel alongside what I do, it just means the absolute world to me. But in any case, guys, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. If you guys are going to watch the internationals, let me know what you think. Who are you going to follow? Are you following England? Are you going to follow Senegal? Are you going to follow Ireland? Watch old Jake O'Brien do his craft in Ireland. Are we going to watch... Who else is there? Who else is out? Like I said, I think it's just England, Ireland, Senegal. Can't watch Ukraine because Mikolenko's back. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Wow. I think it's only them four, isn't it? I'm not sure whether Beto's doing anything with the internationals. Obviously, Grealish didn't make it with the England team. Drewsbury Hall, likewise. Neither Keane, Tarkowski, or Garner. I've just realised we've got a very English-heavy squad, potentially. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 English players in a potential lineup. So that being Pickford, Tarkowski, Michael Keane, James Garner, Timothy Burnham, Drewsbury Hall, and Grealish. 7 players. Wow. That is amazing. Could we actually do a strong Premier League squad with all English players? Now, I'm not talking the likes of Jude Bellingham, Joe Bellingham, or anything like that. I mean, like, realistic Premier League players that we could afford to buy. That would actually be a really good, that would be amazing now. You could potentially make a full English squad then. You could turn around and say, right, these guys have done really well in the Premier League. It's all English. Come on. Make them a full English squad. Make them literally the England squad. I mean, to be honest, what's stopping them from just having, this is going off tangent. I'm going to go off tangent very quickly here. But think about it. When Branthwaite's fit again, you could have Pickford, Tarkowski, Branthwaite as a back three pairing in the England squad. That would be very beneficial because the three of them are really good in terms of communication and everything like that. So what's stopping us? But yeah, guys, put in the comment section below if you don't agree with what I've just said, or if you do agree, or if you've got an alternative suggestion. But in any case, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Up the freaking toffees, and peace.